Who all we got on? Everybody that's on, say hi or what's up or where you're from. I didn't mean to do that. It's my wife had a bunch of kids that made me some posters. I want to show that stuff first. Best YouTuber ever. Give him 1,000,000 likes from Miss Sophia. Another one by Miss Sophia. Massey Jig Company. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm gonna find a spot down here on the wall. I'm gonna get them all hung up. Make a poster out of them. This one, Bailey Walker. Massey Jig Company. That's pretty cool. See the jigs on it? I like that one. They're definitely gonna get hung up down here somewhere. This ain't sure yet. From Bailey. Take her advice. Please like, share, subscribe. From JD. Massey Jig Company. Super Dave, what's up? Got another one from JD. Massey Jig Company. And from Massey Walker. That's awesome. Pretty cool. I'm going to get them hung up back around the wall somewhere. Find some place to put them. We are going to be tying some really, really small jigs tonight, answering questions. Anything you got, anything you want to know, hit me up. This is the time for it. But I've got 1/100th of an ounce. Super small, super tiny. But these are killers when it comes to bluegill fishing. Even crappie fishing. Sometimes when you're crappie fishing and those fish are being kind of finicky, go down to a smaller size, see what happens. You got that open? You watching?
I'm just watching here.
Oh. So that is what we're going to start out with. We're going to tie that. We're going to tie Chanelus without a Chanel body. And I'm going to do something with these jigs. What?
14 people already.
14 people. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know you're here. I kind of cut back from doing it a little bit. Didn't seem like we was getting much going on, but I've been working a lot of hours. I really wasn't going to do it tonight. I had one day off this week. Had a few requests to do some live videos, so Chad Butler, how you doing? Let me know when people come in. Or comment so I don't miss it.
Super Dave, 13.
I got 2 of them. I got another one that's back here behind me. And that's the one I use most of the time, the one that's red. I don't know why, but this one's a little bit mobile. It gets the camera out to a different angle, kind of help show what my jig tying station looks like. I'm not doing bad. It's been a pretty good Sunday. I've been busy all day. I haven't stopped tying jigs since I got up this morning. Actually, we started out painting jigs. Philip, how are you? I got my Vice from Plateau Fly Shop in Springfield. He carries not just the Peak, but he also carries, I can't think of the name of it. He carries 3 or 4 different ones. I tried them out. The Peak I liked the best. It was the least complicated. It looked like the least that could go wrong with it. It's smooth. You can adjust it. You hear a lot of people talk, give a bad review because these screws here are plastic, but all they are is tension screws. You just set it however you want to turn it. So there was really no reason for those screws to be brass to begin with. But I'm pretty sure if you tied with the Peak Vice, you'd probably agree with me. You'd like it. It's extremely smooth. It's got very durable jaws. It's just a all-around good Vice. I've got no complaints about it. Scissors. Peak is awesome. I can guarantee you that. There's a lot of other places that carry them too, but I know I know Austin had them at the Plateau Fly Shop, so it might be, give him a call, they'll send it to you. We are gonna do, we're gonna do a little bit of hackle in these these really, really small jigs. We're just gonna use tips of feathers, some V's. What's up, Jeremy? Leonard Stevens. Read that comment off to me from Leonard Stevens. I missed it.
Hi, Eric. Leonard, aka Mr. Boya. Buffalo, New York will be sending you some jigs for you to give away and for you to fish with.
That is awesome. I appreciate that. We're going to give away some jigs in here tonight, too. I've got some tied up. I got some jig heads painted that I'm going to give away. I'm going to give away probably give away some stickers, too. I like to try to get it up, see if we can get it up to like maybe 50 or something like that tonight. I'd be kind of happy with that. We're going to cut all the way out. I'm going to take this section out of that feather, and that's what I'm going to tie into that. Come out with a big V like this. Kind of odd shaped. We're going to pinch it together. Squeeze it up and get it pointed like that, and we'll tie that one in. Has anybody else tried tying these super small jigs like this? I haven't done it very often. I get probably mainly 1/8 ounce, 16th ounce, stuff like that. And we're going to tie in the tip of a pink one too. Just like that. The whole jig from jig head to end of the shank of the hook is about 3/4 of an inch, so we're not going to put a whole lot in it. We're just going to make sure we get it wrapped up. Just like so. It's a little bitty thing. Yeah, I've got a lot of 180s, 1/100th. Guy in Peoria, Illinois, Enrique Salverda. You can find him on Facebook. I love jigs. He's been sending me a lot of these really small ones. He's been sending me all my ones with my eyes in them. This guy is making the best specialty jig heads that I've ever seen. You might want to give him a shout out on Facebook or hunt him up. But if you're looking for, what's that?
How did you get into jig tying?
I got into jig tying basically because I didn't want to spend the money and buy jigs. I was kind of being cheap. So I thought I'd just start tying my own and see how they came out. And it kind of just went from there. But it turned into an addiction, that's for sure. It's almost more addicting than crappie fishing. But I'm doing something different with these jigs. Me and Zach Cletus, aka Cletus Grub, say hi.
Hey guys.
That's my chat moderator. But we were tying jigs the other day, and we was watching Richard Jean the Fishing Machine, and we were going to tie some up and send to him to see if he would use. I thought it'd be kind of cool if we got to see our jigs on something like that, not for sales or anything like that, but just to see if he would use them is all. And we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. But now that we got that tied up, we're going to whip finish it. And we are going to paint the neck. I haven't used this in very many videos, and I didn't until just a while back. But if you go and buy you a pack of multicolored Sharpies, there is so much stuff you can do with just white thread. Keeps you from changing as much. Bluegill jigs are range from every color you could possibly think of. Super bright colors with crazy little legs on them, to these are some I tied up earlier for bluegill. You know, it's kind of more natural color, kind of like a little insect, a little bug. Sometimes it seems like bluegill like things like this more, and sometimes it seems like the brighter the color is, the better they like it. And that's what I was doing with this one. I'm tying some up that were natural color and tying some up that were a little bit brighter. But you take that and put a bobber above it, throw it above a bluegill bed, I guarantee you, you'll catch bluegill with that. It's kind of fun tying up the really super small ones. Then we put our UV resin on it. And that'll seal that thread up. We won't have to worry about it. Keep it from coming untied. Anything else anybody out there wants to see, want to talk about? Any guys do any crappie fishing today, bluegill fishing? Been raining here for like 3 days. Yeah, sometimes that insect look is the best to go with. Most fish spend their life eating bugs, other minnows. Sometimes just having a, brighter jig sometimes might trigger a bite. That's what it looks like. That's what I tied up. Super small, super tiny. Super effective, I'd hope. I'm gonna tie up another one just like that. Actually, I might tie up 2 more like that. Did anybody get to fish today? I'm curious. I didn't get to. Just gonna tie the same thing. I tie a lot of jigs. Mainly, it seems like when I get off work at night. We've been super busy working a lot of overtime, and I've neglected a few orders and couldn't get some. I had to turn some people down, some people away. I've been crazy busy this year. Yeah, that's about what I've tied all day. I got up at, I think it was like right around 9:30. Got in bed last night about 3:30. Just trying to catch up on a few things. And also, we might leave that one just like that. I kind of like that. Nah, we got to add another one to it. Usually don't seem like you can go wrong with the monkey milk color. You imagine how much money Bobby Garland has made off monkey milk? But it's pretty astronomical. I would think. 2 smallmouth, 8 rock bass, and 12 bluegill. Did you keep them and eat them, or did you turn them loose? I've never ate a smallmouth. What was that? That last comment. That's it.
We're mostly watching you. Tried had the best. We're fishing 32 bass, 66 gram. It feels good to catch fish on a jig that I tied. Thanks for being a good teacher.
Who said that?
Fleming's Outdoor Adventures.
Fleming Outdoor Adventure. You are very welcome. And like I said, in my videos, if you've ever got a question, message me. I will help you figure out anything you need. I think we're going to color the thread first on this one. And we're going to wrap it up. See if we can get that. There it is. telling you guys, that right there is a very good tip. Paint that thread. Save yourself a little bit of money, a little bit of time. The only reason I really got into it is because I ran out of some thread. And the fly shop's like 30 miles away. It was on a Sunday, didn't have time to go get it. So I just colored white. Set of the pair of scissors I kept. Thank you, Leonard. I appreciate that. If we get that up to, we get our viewers up to 30, we'll give something away. I'm gonna top another one that color. What's everybody's favorite material to tie with? I've got favorite materials. I got materials I absolutely hate. Picking through feathers, trying to find the sharpest little V's I can, or little tips I can. Let's go another, I think I'm gonna go another pink one in that. What I say?
Rick, where are you at fishing?
Huh?
Rick, where are you at fishing?
What do you say? Oh, he's talking something else. I missed it. I couldn't read it all. My chat moderator is being slow. He's doing a good job, though. Marabou, that's your favorite or your least favorite? What did he say?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't, I go a long time without tying marabou. I get where I say I don't like it, then when I get the time with it, I realize how much I do like it. And actually, we might tie the next couple up using just marabou. One thing I hate with a passion is craft fur. That is, oh my goodness, that is the worst. By the time you get done tying with craft fur, you got it up your nose, you got it in your eyes, you got it stuck in your eyelids. It's floating all around the house. That's why I got booted to the garage. So it makes a mess. Makes a mess. It's your favorite. Like I said, I get the time with it. I like it, and I don't know why I don't use it more than what I do. I would have to say that probably out of all the material you can tie with, marabou probably has the best action. Like I said, these are going to a special customer to see what happens. Yeah. You can do a lot of stuff with marabou. I will definitely give you guys that for sure. Let's see what we got. We got one little bitty silver one. We're gonna do marabou in this one. We got some silver woolly booger. And we are going to I think we're going to put a little bit of red in it. Let's see if we can get that cut small enough to put silver and red in this at the same time. Let's give it a shot. Y'all got me itching to tie marabou now. $18 people. Man, I got my table covered with all my material. Let's move some of this out of the way. There they are. I'd say the easiest material for beginners is probably going to be your saddle hackle. This seems like hackle ties in pretty easy, pretty straight. Let's see, we're going to start out with a little pinch of marabou, just like that, right there. And when I switch over and go back to tying marabou, sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 jigs before I actually get it back to the way I want it. And we're going to put a little strip of silver right on top of that one. No, not that one. I didn't pick that feather plain. Rubber silicone legs, that's a good one for beginners. Couple different colors in that one. I think I might even try to put a little bit of chenille on that. If I can find it. Got some really, really small chenille. Does good on the really small jigs. We're gonna wet that up and get it out of our way just a little bit. But we are gonna tie this little bit of chenille in. So we're 25 people on. Where's everybody from? I know we got Buffalo, New York, which is awesome. Just amazes me that we get somebody that far away. You don't think about New York being a state where anybody, crappie fishes. That's just pretty amazing, I think. Pretty cool. You are quiet tonight. Super quiet. Jacksonville, Florida, Alabama, Colbert, Oklahoma, Northwest Illinois, North Carolina, 16th ounce and 8th ounce is usually all I fish with, unless I'm trolling jigs or if I'm spider rigging. A lot of times I use a quarter on the bottom and then a 16th or 8th ounce above that. There's my little bitty one. Kind of neat. Nebraska. Still a long way away. Fleming Outdoors Adventure, Jefferson County, Alabama. I got some family in Alabama, in Roanoke. You anywhere close to that? Grand Junction, Colorado. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. 3 more and we will, 2 more and we will give away, we'll give away a pack of jig heads. I've got so many extra jig heads laying around painted. And I'm curious if anybody else tried to tie up, anybody else tried to tie up one of those yet? I did a video on that. I did a video of it in the test tank. This is the Clouser minnow, and it has got me just so intrigued on how good that's going to fish vertically, because it hangs upside down like that, and I think that would be an awesome vertical fishing jig. 4 more people on board, I'll give that one away. Let somebody give that a shot. It's ugly, it looks like that little squirrel from Ice Age, but I really believe that'll work. I watch a lot of fly tying videos on YouTube, and I try to incorporate a lot of that into the jigs that I tie, and this one is just, like I said, it's got me intrigued. So, it went down. 6 more, I'll give that away. Let's see, we're gonna do one more small. $16th, any size, it don't matter. It don't matter what size you said. I fish everything. Kind of want to tie one of those up, but I'm not sure what I did with my UV light, so I'm not going to. I'm going to tie this small little bitty one up. And I got a box that I'm sending to, like I said, I'm going to try to send them to Richard Jean and see what happens. I'm curious. Let's see. Let's tie this baby up. 25. I need 5 more people. Give away some jig heads. Today actually would have been a pretty good day to go fishing. Cloudy, overcast here all day. Nowhere near as hot as what it had been, which is awesome. Awesome. Stack 2 of them on top of each other. Let's tie them in. Yeah, I say I always want cool weather too until it gets here and I'm ready for summer to come back. I just want like a fall, springtime weather all the time. You know, low upper 60s to mid 70s. I could deal with that all year long. tie this one in. And we're going to paint that thread. Yeah, 2 seasons is about what we see here too most of the time. Hurricanes, no. Tornadoes, yes. And that is it for my little bitty ones. Done and over. Oh, see somebody talking about walleye fishing. There's a lot of walleye around here. Seems like it's usually by accident when you get into them. Let's see, let's tie some. I ain't sure what I'm gonna tie yet. Anybody got a request? Heck yeah, I'll do it. You send them to me, I'll fish with them, I'll tie them. We'll do a giveaway with them. I actually appreciate that, thank you. Gold and chartreuse. I was thinking that just a minute ago. Let me whip this one up. I think I got a couple gold jig heads up here. We got them. Nice sparkly gold jig heads I had tied up, painted up. We'll tie this one up and we'll whip that one out. I like golden chartreuse, and red. There's a lot of things I like tying with golden. Okay, we can do that. Plan on next Sunday being a live feed, and we'll see what happens. Y'all gonna have to hold on for a second. I'm gonna have to get my dog. Hey. No. He's a little bitty chihuahua, but he thinks he's a bulldog, and there's some people walking down the street, and he was getting ready to go greet him, I'm pretty sure. Black and chartreuse is what I got on deck right now. We're gonna do the feathers, and then we're gonna do something around the neck. Nope, I don't like that feather at all. We're gonna start that one over. Big old fat feather, and I did not like that one. You know, I don't know if I've got any teal colors. I think I might. I get a lot more requests for, I put teal in a lot of jigs people are using in the wintertime. Kind of like blue ice colors, things like that. All right, let's try this again. Really get another black feather. We're at 28, getting closer to a giveaway. I don't know where my chat moderator went. Hopefully he comes back. It's hard to, I don't get, I see the comments come up, but they don't last very long. And I don't know how else to keep up with them, but to have somebody, you know, kind of read them off to me. So if I've missed your comment, I apologize. That's one of my all-time favorite jigs. Is black and chartreuse. This thing, I bet I've caught more fish off that color probably than any color I've ever used. Let's go with this sparkly Chanel. I think it's probably a medium size, I think. Then we'll do that black or that chartreuse and gold one next. 31. We got 31. Panfish Nation, I see Mr. Lyle Stokes in the house. Tie this one off. I'm kind of excited about doing the golden chartreuse one. I like that color. There it is. Pretty little jig. They come out good. Come out good. That is the classic crappie killing color. I guarantee it. There we go. Now I can keep up with comments. I'm glad I inspired people to start tying. It's not hard, and it's the hardest thing about tying your own jigs. It's not hard, and it's well, the hardest thing about tying your own jigs. Like I said, the hardest part about tying jigs is finding the jig head you want, finding the color you want. It's not hard to paint the jig heads. The powder paint process is about as simple as it gets. Maybe next week I can do a video, you know, if enough people request it, to do a video on powder painting again. Super, super simple process. And it's really not that expensive. I get all my paint from Jason Brummel, Jason's Tackle. Like I said, it's so simple. Simple enough, I wish I would have done it started doing this a long time ago. It might have saved me money buying plastics, because, you know, these are a jig. These are, you can fish with it for a few hours, catch a fish with it, take it off, put it back in your box, let it dry up, and you got it for the next time. And they don't have to be, you know, like super, super beautiful or, you know, award-winning type kind of jigs. Them fish don't care. If it gets their attention, they're going to hit it. It don't matter what that jig looks like. You know, don't assume you tied an ugly jig, it ain't going to work. I got boxes full of ugly jigs. The jigs that I was too worried about mailing to somebody, I put them in my box and I use them myself. I keep them kind of like my test jigs. Maybe the thread broke or something like that and didn't trust it. I stick them in my box, and those are the ones I got. That's what we use. So we've got an 1/8 ounce Disco Gold jig head and device. I seen that. There's 35. There was 35. I was waiting for my chat moderator to come back, and I don't know where he went. I don't know if he's sitting up in the living room listening or something like that, but he needs to come back. But I said at 30, we'd give something away. I am going to give away these 2 packs of jigs. That's a purple, candy purple. There's a chartreuse gold and red one, and some with rubber legs that I tied up that are in here. Victor, message me after this and I'll get you some stickers. But let's give away those 2 packages of jigs. Let me see if I can. Do a number between 1 and 75. Whoever gets close without going over, I'll send you those jigs. Thread I'm using here is 140 denier. It's kind of a brownish color, kind of a bronze color. It goes good with the gold. It kind of helps hide some of it, show some of it. It was hard finding gold thread. You can find gold embroidery thread, but I didn't really like the way it tied. It was really stiff. It really bulked the jig up too much, and I found this at Plateau Fly Shop. Like I said, it's kind of like a bronze color, but it's the closest I could find to gold that would hide the body if I did a gold Chanel on it. Let's tie this up. Did you want to see? Let's tie this gold one up the way I tie them up. I did a video earlier today on using your flash as your tail. And when I tie up gold and chartreuse jigs, I start out with this really stiff flash. And then I top it off with crystal flash. So we got it glued down. We're going to start out this in the main body of the tail. We're going to lay that right in the middle. We're going to tie that in. So you have this stiff looking kind of tail on the outside, or actually on the inside of the jig. And then we are going to take this crystal flash. I've already generated the number. We'll take that crystal flash and we're going to wrap that around the rest of the jig. And we're going to put a little more up here on the top of it. Right there like that. take it out of the vise, then I'm going to get it all kind of straightened up a little bit before I put my Chanel on it. I'm going to trim it down a little bit where it ain't quite as thick. But when you tie that crystal flash in like that and you start putting a little bit of pressure on it, it spreads it out. Boom, pops wide open. So, I think we're going to use the exact same chartreuse Chanel. Since I got an 1/8 ounce jig head and it's a little bit heavier, I'm going to go start at the head, work my way back, and come back up, and then tie again from up there. Even the saltwater flash, I've done that before too. It's good for this. If you're, what it's good for, even using it as flash in your jig. But I've bought so much flash, you can see on my table. That's how I store all my flash. That's how much I got. It looks like Elton John's closet. And that is my golden chartreuse jig. This is the one I tie. It's the one I like to use. That one right there. I love that jig. That's one of my all-time favorites right there is that. That's a really cool looking jig. Works really well. It does. It's got a lot of pop. It's got, you know, there's tons of tail material. It's going to catch a lot of light. It exactly matches the head. There's going to be a lot of reflection on that under the water in the sunlight. Really good jig to tie. Even go with orange sometimes in your body. But I like that. All right, we're going to scroll back through and see who hit that number. Let's go back to the beginning. The first one that was closest without going over. Closest one without going over was number, random number on the generator I hit was number 8. Panfish Nation, Mr. Lyle Stokes. I will send you those jigs. The stiffer flash I ended up getting at, I think I got that at Plateau Flash Shop. It's more like a tinsel. Sometimes I like the big flash, sometimes I like the smaller flash. I lean a lot more towards the crystal flash. I like those little beads. It looks like it's got in it. It seems like it catches a lot more sunlight under the water. You can kind of see it. Little bitty beads all tied together. I lean a lot more towards that. I think this is probably my favorite. It's probably the crystal flash. A lot of times I use regular let me see what else I got. We got a lot to look like that. It's thick, it's heavy. I usually use just one piece and run it right down the bottom of the jig. I usually got something I use all of them for. And sometimes it's just what mood I'm in, what I grab, what I pick up, and what I tie in. Any other questions, anybody else? If not, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been 50 minutes. Depending on my work schedule next week, I might try to do the live feed on the boat out on the lake. The stiff flash does look good in the bucktail. If you run that stiff flash, a whole layer of it first, and then wrap your bucktail around that flash, That's a really cool looking jig. Let's go. I'll tell you what. Let's do one like that. We're gonna take that jig head right there, and we're gonna tie this one up. We're gonna use. Let's use black bucktail, and let's put silver flash in it. Yeah, you won Panfish Nation. Yeah, I powder coat a lot of them in chrome. That's actually my chrome color with UV resin over top of it. I coated that whole thing with UV resin to help seal that eyeball in. But that whole jig head is pretty much an eye. So let's do that. Let's tie this one up with bucktail. We'll make this the last jig for the night. And like I said, depending on my work schedule next week, I might try to do a live feed out on the lake. It depends on if I can get reception. I'll test it a little bit and see what happens. But let's do some. We're gonna put this silver and black flash inside this bucktail jig, and we're gonna switch everything back over. I'm gonna put a 200 denier thread in the loon bobbin, and we're gonna see what we can come up with. This is a super 200 denier is a very heavy thread. I didn't have my glasses on. I can't really see it to thread it. It's hell getting old. You sure, Lyle? All right, we're going to do the giveaway one more time. Let me scroll back up through it again and see. There was someone else that was pretty dang close too. Go back to the beginning. We've got Victor Shelmer. It is yours, sir. Get a hold of me after we're done here. I'll get your address. Send it to me on Facebook Messenger. I'll figure out some way to get a hold of you, and we'll get these in the mail to you. So we've got an 1/8 ounce number 4 pill head jig in the vise with the glued on ice. Finally got my bobbin threader threaded. Let's give our hook a good coating right here. And I'm actually going to use the crystal flash for the inside of this one. And this one here I've butchered up quite a bit because I'm pretty sure I've tied bucktail jigs and done this exact same thing with them. I have a friend of mine in Mississippi that orders lots of bucktail jigs from me, and I like tying those jigs. He likes fishing with them. Get the neck wrapped up. We're going to go less than halfway down. 2/3 of the way down. Then we're going to take that crystal flash, bury it all in that hook. We're going to add a little bit more to it. We're going to flash this one up. Lay it right there. Yeah, it's going to look nice. I like that one. Hopefully I got a silver bucktail. I see one in there that's all butchered up. Like there's some good tips right there on the very end. That's what I look for. These. You get down here to this end, you run into these really stiff hollow hairs. there's a good use for those. You can tie bluegill jigs with those. I'll do a video or maybe next week a live feed, and I'll show you how to use these hollow guard hairs to tie a jig for bluegill. That is phenomenal. It's one of the prettiest looking jigs you ever tie. You'll hear a lot of other jig tiers say, throw that hollow hair away, you don't want it, it's junk. It's not. There's a use for it. I'll show you eventually. Don't throw your bucktails away just because all your tips are gone off of it. Hold on to it. And the 200 denier, this is where it comes in because I'm putting a lot of pressure on that thread. I'm tying that in super tight. I'm going to add a little bit more to it, but before I add to it, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this right here. That chrome, let me see what I got. I think I got some that are painted. Give me just a second, let me find it. I got some right here that actually belong to Lyle Stokes. And when you paint them chrome, powder paint, it comes out like chrome. It comes out shinier than the lead does. It's pretty amazing how shiny that is. It's a really nice looking chrome color. Yeah, mine look just like chrome. They are really shiny when they come out. It really impressed me. I didn't think it would come out like that, and I thought maybe after I bought it, I thought it's probably a waste of money. It's going to come out looking just like the lead, but it don't. The only thing is with the chrome, a lot of my jig heads, when I paint them, like if I'm doing chartreuse, I like to sprinkle on a little bit of black. If you try to two-tone that chrome, it looks like if you paint the chrome, sprinkle a little bit of black on it, it looks like you painted a black jig head and you missed a bunch of spots. So it really looks like a junk jig head when you're done. So don't, you can experiment with it, but if you sprinkle chartreuse on it, it looks like you didn't cover the whole jig with chartreuse. Pretty weird looking. It don't look right when you're done with it. It looks like somebody was trying to paint it with their eyes closed. We're going to lay that next from the bucktail right there on top of it. 2 loose wraps. And when you tie your bucktail, when you get right here to the bottom, that's where you want to pull it tight. When you come over the bottom. A little bit looser on the top. Tight on the bottom. And that'll keep that bucktail from spinning on you if you pull it tight from your bottom wrap. All right, so we got that right there. Now let's put in some heavier flash. We're going to go with this. We're going to take 2 pieces of this. We're going to lay that jig head over on its side. I'm going to take a piece about 5.5, 6 inches long, cut it in half. Lay it right on the side of your jig. Start it loose and pull it tight from the bottom. Same way with this, or it'll roll all the way up underneath there. Start it to. Let's redo that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And of course, I lost that piece I just cut, so we're going to cut another one. Right there, just like that. Roll your jig head completely over the other way. Tie it in. And I usually try to cover up all that flash when I go back with my last wraps. But you don't have to. It's kind of neat looking to have some of that flash showing the neck of that jig. We're going to get right there and we're going to do our whip finish. Pull it down tight. Oh, lost my bottle. And the last touch for this is we are going to put our UV resin on it. It'll keep all that from coming loose. And of course, it's going to have to go underneath the UV light to cure it. I'm not going to go through that, but it'll look exactly like this when I get it back out of that, out from underneath that light. You can see the big piece of flash right there on the side, flash buried in the middle of it. A lot of times this time of year when those shad are really small, this is what I'll switch to. That jig right there. Except for I wasn't using the ones with the eyes. I've just been using round ball jig heads. Enrique Salverda from I Love Jigs has been sending me these. If you like those jig heads, check him out. He'll cut you a good deal on them. The round ball jig heads, the powder paint, Jason Brummel. That's the only person I will ever buy my round ball jig heads from. He's fast. The jigs are perfect. They're flawless. Enrique Salverda, I'll get all of my specialty jig heads, the New Age minnows, hatchet heads, wedge heads, peel heads. They will all come from him. But yes, that is an awesome jig when it comes to fishing anywhere where you got shad, especially thread fitting shad. That black dot for the eye looks just like that black dot behind her fin. Definitely worth the jig to try and have in your box. I promise you will love that jig. It's just got a lot of action. I can't say enough about that. That's one of my all-time favorite jigs. My next favorite is this one. I catch more crappie off that color than I do anything. Orange and chartreuse. Another great color to tie, and it's a color I didn't really think about. I never really thought about it. Will Williams in Louisiana was ordering them this January when the crappie were spawning down there. He ordered, I want to say probably 100 of them, a couple hundred of them. So Captain Will Williams gave me the idea for that. And I'm sure other people have been using it, but that jig just produced when no other color would. And you hear a lot of people say that crappie aren't color sensitive. You hear a lot of people that's got live scoping that are saying that it don't matter the color. That day it mattered the color. I had black chartreuse out, white and pink out, solid pink out. The only one I could catch a fish on was that orange and chartreuse. I will swear by that color. That is all I got. Unless anybody else has got anything, we'll plan on doing the exact same thing next week, same time, sometime around 7:30, something like that, unless somebody else has got a better idea on what time to do it, when more people might be able to show up. That, I don't know the name of that box. You will have to look it up on Amazon. Find the one that looks like that. It's a double-sided case, just like that. Both sides open. It's a good box. It's nice and tight. Those hook sizes on those last two were number 4s. If I'm tying jigs, most of the time that is all I tie with is number 4s. Not only do you use a little bit less material, but that crappie is going to get that whole jig in its mouth. It's not going to have just a mouthful of tail. When it sucks that up, if you ever watch a crappie on YouTube or something like that, when they open up and suck that jig in, especially with that sickle hook, when it goes inside, that hook is going to hook somewhere. I will swear by the sickle hooks. I love them. Appreciate everybody that came out. It means a lot to know that I got 34 people watching me live. I'm up to almost 7,000 subscribers. I want to thank everybody that watches, subscribes, and send me a message. Victor, Eric Massey, or Eric Massey Jig Company on Facebook Messenger. We'll get you these in the mail. That is all I got tonight, guys. I appreciate you showing up. We will see you next time. Maybe. If I can figure out how, there it is, right there.